The following is a paid advertisement. The views expressed are the sole responsibility of the advertiser.
I'm attorney Justin Clark. Coming up just ahead on You Have Real Estate. You want to find your dream house this weekend. I know how to find the open houses for you. Also, what is going on in this commercial market? Is it up? Is it down? It's all just ahead. It's You Have Real Estate. Having debt can leave you feeling helpless. I'm attorney Justin Clark. Filing for bankruptcy may give you the power to lower or even eliminate the payments that have you living paycheck to paycheck. Call me now for a free consultation or visit youhavepower.com and take back control of your life.
This is a special offer from IQ Power Solar.
Stop paying high electric bills with a solar power system from IQ Power Solar. And now it's never been easier. IQ Power Solar can give you immediate electric bill relief right now when you go solar. IQ Power Solar will reimburse you for your very next electric bill. Plus, if you're a first responder, IQ Power Solar will pay your program payment for the rest of the year. Call 407-585-1018 now or visit iqpowersolar.com.
Welcome to You Have Real Estate with me, attorney Justin Clark. Whether you're a first-time home buyer, seasoned investor, or even looking to sell your house, this next 30 minutes is designed just for you. Think of it like hitting multiple open houses, all from your living room, with my attorney advice throughout the way. If you have any questions whatsoever during the program, Dallas Lehman is standing by to answer them. Or if you need to get pre-qualified, you're starting your house hunt this weekend, Dallas Lehman will answer those questions and try to get you pre-qualified. The phone number, I'll leave it on the screen right here the entire show. It's 407-205-0400. A lot of important things we're going to talk about today. You will not want to miss a single second. But first, the opening statement. A lot of us have rental homes out there in this market. I don't recommend managing it yourself. It becomes a nightmare, especially now. I've never seen the relationship between landlord and tenant be so bad. Greg Mann is your man. Greg, tell me what you do. It's been a really weird time for landlords over the last couple of years. Tenants have been a little bit angry. I think if you're a landlord, you need a property manager. The best one I know is Greg Mann. He happens to be here with me today. Greg, how are you?
I'm great, thanks. How are you?
So let's say I'm a landlord and I'm trying to make the decision. Do I want to handle this myself or hire someone like you who is a property manager who does it all? What goes into that decision? Why hire a property manager?
Well, it's quite simple. It's one of your biggest assets. And let me ask you a question. If you want heart surgery, do you employ a brain surgeon?
Yeah,
No.
Absolutely.
So employ a property manager. It's very difficult. It's complicated. It can be complex. You can be sued. You can leave yourself wide open for many, many things. We know what to do, when to do it, and how to do it.
What do you do for me as my property manager?
Well, I'll make sure your property's rented, maintained, kept clean, and re-rented, and make sure you get your money.
And then monthly, some things can come up. Maybe something goes wrong. You're right here to solve all those problems between you and the tenant, or between you and anything that happens.
Yeah, we're your cushion. So, problem at the house, tenant calls us, they don't call you. You're on vacation, enjoying yourself, we fix whatever problem it is.
How do your relationships with your vendors work, and how does that help me as my property manager?
We have, every vendor is licensed and insured. Every vendor has a 30-day pay cycle, so I don't need money up front from you. And they work very, very closely with us. We've used them for years.
Yeah. If you are a landlord, you have rental properties, do yourself a favor. Call Greg Mann right now. Do not do this on your own. All right, so we've been talking about interest rates on this program for a while. We know that interest rates are up on residential real estate, but what about commercial real estate? One of our best commercial agents, Rob Keeler, will be here to talk about what's going on in the commercial market. I know we focus on residential all the time here, but commercial is important too. A lot of you are business owners. You're thinking about investing in a location for your business, or you're just an investor looking at commercial properties to buy. Is now a good time to buy commercial real estate? Also today on the program, I've been telling you for a couple months, one of my favorite, probably my favorite invention ever since we've been doing this program in real estate is unbelievable, because you can find houses for sale. I mean, all these websites find them, but you cannot find where the open houses are. I'm going to tell you exactly how you can find where the open houses are really throughout Florida. And we're going to answer all of those questions, and we'll do so by asking real questions. Every Saturday here on the show, we ask real questions to the truly trend-setting people in Central Florida's real estate community. Happy to welcome today repeat visitors. Rob Keeler, you're going to talk about commercial real estate, of course, today. Yeah? You're excited? I'm glad to have you back. I feel like I haven't seen you in a while.
Been a minute.
And Barett Munson, HOMEUPLINK. Barett, welcome back. How are you, sir?
Good, good.
And Barett, let me start with you because I've been telling this audience for a while now that what you guys created is probably one of the most interesting, best inventions I've seen in residential real estate. In my real estate career, I would say. Tell us a little bit about HOMEUPLINK for those who don't know yet.
So what we actually do is we facilitate open house listings. We take every open house listing that's available and we actually promote them with turn-by-turn directions, direct access to the agents hosting the open house, pictures and synopsis. And at the end of the day, we purge all that data and the next morning, everything's fresh, everything's new. So every single day has a brand new open house that's available for that day and that day only. It tells you the time, the square footage, the price, so you can get there and see that open house.
I mean, if you think about it, the only other way to do this is to peruse the MLS all day long and just hope one of the houses that you see there has an open house, that it says open house. There's no other way to do this to find this information.
I mean, all of the other large, third-party generated websites, they don't necessarily promote open houses. We want people to get to the open house and see it themselves. That's exactly what we're here for.
I always think it's important to mention this because a lot of times these real estate inventions like HOMEUPLINK are anti-real estate agent, anti-real estate broker, trying to take money from them. You're a teammate to the real estate agents out there.
We are facilitating as much as possible to get agents as much exposure as possible. We want every single agent, if they're doing an open house, to get not only digital, but foot traffic. And that's what we're doing. We're promoting it digitally for them and them only. We're not selling it to a lead, we're actually giving it to them, which is why we want to help.
So it's Saturday right now. I want to go buy a house. I want to figure out where the open houses are. Take me through this process of figuring out where open houses are through HOMEUPLINK.
So basically we have a simple search engine on the homepage, which basically you can put zip, you can put your city, you can actually put the state if you really wanted to. And we have everything between all the way from Jacksonville down to Miami. Wow. So over the weekends we have anywhere between 4,500 to 6,000 open house listings that then gets promoted through us. And like I said, every single one has turn-by-turn directions, and every single one actually you can contact the agent hosting.
I find it fascinating that we have so many people purchasing real estate, their biggest investment ever, sight unseen anymore. With me, if I'm going to go spend $500,000 on something, I probably want to at least walk in and see it.
Correct.
And right now we're living in an age where things are moving so quickly in real estate that people are just buying sight unseen. However, I believe that trend is, if not going like this, but the trend is definitely going like this. There are more houses on the market. I think buyers are going to be in a little bit of a better position now.
We've seen an increase in open houses because properties are lasting longer. So they're not flying off the shelves within the first 7 days. So these agents are having to host open houses to gain traffic. But it's one of the main things for exposure. If you're a new agent, or if you're a seasoned agent, you host open houses so you can get as many new leads as possible.
Of course.
That's your business.
It is, and that's what a real estate agent should do. If you have a listing, you should have an open house, and then every buyer that goes through, you're going to be their agent too. And that's how it, at the end of the day, that's how it works. It's not and not rocket science in any way. But I've just never seen a company be able to put it together like you guys have, and it's really fantastic for the consumer. But agents out there, don't forget, this is good for you as well. They are not trying to take business away from you. They're really trying to help you. Did you see open houses going down numbers-wise during the pandemic while the real estate market was so hot?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we moved our company from Nevada, where open houses were actually outlawed for 9 months. Yeah, you couldn't.
Because of the pandemic.
Because of cross-contamination, they didn't want new people. The only houses that were actually being able to be promoted were unoccupied. So they were hosting no open houses at all. And here was different.
Yeah.
Here was what we needed to happen.
Yeah, so. I mean, I think we're at a place now where you can go look at these houses. You don't need to go sight unseen, throwing offers left and right, getting yourself in trouble. HOMEUPLINK is going to show you where all the open houses are, really throughout the state. But you're probably searching in a few different zip codes. Go look at the house. You're going to live there. Johnny's room is going to be upstairs. Go check it out. See what this house really feels like. A lot of your purchase on a house is, how do you feel in there? And a lot of times, right when you walk in a house or you walk in an open house, you know the feeling that you get when you're in that house. You're going to be living there every day for the next however many years. You'd think that you'd want to maybe look at it or something, right? Keep up the good work. Now, your brother's going to come on in a minute and debut his new mustache, I believe, right?
Exactly.
I'm looking forward to Zach getting up here, too. So we'll be back to Home Uplink in a minute. Let me bring in Rob Keeler for a second. Rob, I always like your input on this because you've been in the commercial real estate world for so long. And it's interesting to me how different commercial real estate is from residential real estate. Yep. It's just, there's totally different animals. What are some of the differences you see when you're negotiating commercial real estate versus residential?
Well, for one thing, the due diligence process is quite substantial. There's so many components to it, moving pieces, and trying to manage and get all those on the same page is very difficult at times. I would say that was the biggest part of it. You know, we're not affected as quickly in the house or in the commercial realm as the residential when it comes to interest rates, because there's just some other mitigating circumstances, and interest rates aren't just a one number fits all type for different product types.
So for the last 2 years, we've been talking on this program about the skyrocketing cost of residential real estate. I mean, literally, if you look at the chart, it's like this, off the chart, so to speak. How has the commercial market responded these last 2 years?
So it depends on the sector, whether you're speaking multifamily, industrial, hospitality, office. Of course, office and hospitality have, they've taken a hit and everything with the pullout of workers being in the office, and then hospitality, of course, during the pandemic, that suffered because of the occupancy rates. The apartment and industrial industry and sectors have really ramped up. Of course, with the apartment sector was already hot to begin with before pandemic, and now it's even more so, especially with this backdraft of interest rates that's going to push folks to take the economical way, whereas they couldn't qualify before.
Yeah,
or could qualify.
I mean, that's a good point. I think the rental market is astronomical for families right now who are renting. It's very expensive to rent. Even a 1 or 2 bedroom apartment is very expensive right now. Based on what you're telling me, and you see the mortgage rates going up, do you see this rental market continue to increase?
So unfortunately, that's probably going to be the case for rents, only because the vacancy factor right now is so low, historically low for apartment living. And we're already at, on an average, I think, for this market, over $1,800 per month. With the interest rates going in the upward direction, that's only going to compress the cap rates for these properties to sell and such. Of course, you're going to have an upswing of more renters coming into that particular market versus buyers, whereas they, maybe qualified 2 months ago, but they can't now, or what have you.
I remember my dad yelling at my mom about $500 a month in Bristol, Tennessee. I think it was Cardinal Lane back in, 94 or something like that. It's crazy how things change so quickly. All right, so the interest rates, we've talked on this show about the interest rates going up for residential. Do commercial interest rates go up with residential, or how do those work together?
They do trend. Most rates are going to be somewhat situated to the 10-year Treasury when you're talking most commercial sectors. So we kind of base it on that, based on an average cap rate and how that tends to trend with the 10-year Treasury. An example would be, I think it's been 18 or 20 years since the yield spread between the 10-year Treasury and the interest rate has tightened the way it has. We enjoyed upwards of 5% yield a couple of years ago, and of course now it's getting a little bit tighter.
This might be an unanswerable question, but do your best, I guess. Let's say that an interest rate for a residential mortgage is 6%. Where would it be for buying an office building or something?
So again, because there's different product types between retail and apartment and such, it's going to be anywhere between somewhere in the high 4s, because apartment is in such high demand. You've also got some government back monies there, all the way up to 8s and 9s, depending on the product type, whether you're in an MSA or a secondary market, tertiary market. All of those things factor into underwriting.
You've worked with a lot of business owners, of course, who have to make a similar decision as what families have to make. A family has to decide, do I want to rent or do I want to buy a house? As a business owner, it's a similar decision. Do I want to buy where my office is going to be or my warehouse, or do I rent it? How do you have those conversations with business owners? What are the pros and cons?
Sure. Well, the purchase is always the American dream, I think, and to have that ownership and equity over time. I believe that's the way that I would consult anybody that could that can manage to align with all the requirements. Leasing is a different situation. If you're in a situation where you can't own it or you can't build or redevelop something, and the location is necessary to maximize your business potential, then you may want to consider the leasing side of things.
Sure. And it's not just for business owners. You work with investors as well who are trying to invest in commercial real estate. You actually are working on a project here that, tell me about this project a little bit.
Sure. So this is a project where I represented the landowner at the time. It's in the process of getting ready to actually close, and the buyers are in the process of getting ready to submit for permitting for the vertical construction. This property is going to be essentially one of the newer state-of-the-art industrial facilities here in the Orlando market, consisting of about 116,000 square feet, 32-foot ceilings, which is the higher ceilings for industrials is the thing these days that draws in the tenants or the owners. This particular property, if it being fully leased on a pro forma, would transact north of $20 million.
Wow.
Yeah.
So there's money to be made in this commercial real estate game, huh?
Exactly, yeah. And just a quick example, even on a purchase price of that, with just to say 25% down payment. Yeah. So you got a $5 million outlay investment. Over 5 years, if you consider the internal rate of return with the money you actually net to your pocket and the equity that you're building up, you're looking north of a 30% to 40% return on that initial $5 million.
Sounds like just the opposite of the stock market and Bitcoin, huh?
A little bit safer.
Unbelievable. Rob Keeler, great job as always. If you have any questions about commercial real estate, you want to buy something, you want to sell your commercial real estate, or you want to invest in commercial real estate, trust me, I understand what's going on with the stock market right now. Real estate typically is a pretty safe place to invest your money. I will connect you with Rob right now, 407-205-0400. Great job as always, buddy. Quick time out. When we return, where are all the open houses in your neighborhood? We'll tell you that and more. You have real estate continues. I'm here with Stephen Bader, the COO of IQ Power Solar. Steve, as you know, I went solar at my house with IQ Power Solar. Thank goodness that I did. There are a lot of door-knocking companies out there. There are a lot of these sales organizations that pretend to do solar. They are not IQ Power Solar. What separates you?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's an exciting industry and a lot of people are getting into it, and that's a good thing, right, for the most part. No one says, oh, I want to just put as many panels on the roof. That's not a good investment. We understand home energy, we understand how to get the best return on your investment, and we understand that at the end of the day, you're not buying a solar system. No one says, I can't wait to get up and look at my system. You're buying an outcome, so that's what we focus on. We focus on an outcome, a promise, someone hold accountable for that promise, and a 40-year commitment to it. So that's what we do.
Really what made us switch to solar was our electric bill was insane. It was $600-700 a month. What made me choose IQ Power was I had a bunch of people obviously come knock on my door, and I just went through and did some research on it. I liked that they were all under one contract. It wasn't multiple contractors. Everything was handled through the same individual, and they knocked everything out in a timely manner and really worked it out for us. They had the best warranties and guarantees in the business, and my wife really liked that. They were fantastic to work with.
Thank you for what you did for me and my family, Steve. IQ Power Solar. Do yourself a favor. Give IQ Power Solar a call today. You will not regret that decision.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
My name is Dallas Lehman, president of UM Mortgage. There has been a lot of news lately regarding interest rates. The Federal Reserve has spoken recently and reported they are committed to raising rates for the rest of this year and into the next. Now for the good news. Rates are still extremely low. The National Association of Realtors reports consumers should bear in mind that mortgage rates are still historically low. The historic average on a 30-year fixed mortgage is 8%. As we speak, Freddie Mac is averaging rates in the 4s. 2022 can still be your best year to purchase your own home or refinance to a lower rate. Stop throwing your hard-earned money away on rising rental payments. Call today and let's get started. Your Under One Roof team is always here for you.
Now the entire band is together. Welcome in Zach Munson, Barett's brother and the other founder of HOMEUPLINK. Welcome, buddy.
Thank you, thank you.
What is it like founding something so special like HOMEUPLINK, but doing it with your brother?
Well, you'd think it'd make it easier. It does, because I can pretty much say at 2 o'clock in the morning and call them, and I don't have to worry that I'm going to be interrupting someone's life, because I don't really care if I am, because he's my brother.
Right, exactly.
It's like, this is more important than whatever you're doing. So it makes it easier, but it's always a ton of work.
That's right. I was telling Barrett earlier that I think this is my favorite invention in real estate, certainly since I've been doing the show, because people had no way of finding out where the open houses were. You literally changed the game when it comes to how people buy real estate.
Yeah. Really what we set out to do when we had the idea was that we wanted to help buyers specifically.
Yeah.
We said we wanted to change the way that they understood real estate. We wanted to put them in the driver's seat so that there's a difference of sitting shotgun and having your realtor there and pointing things out while you're driving, as opposed to being chauffeured around.
I totally agree. Now, what are you seeing in the open house world right now? Are they up? Are they down? Because I imagine during the pandemic they might have gone a little bit down. Then we lived in a world where the market was so hot, realtors got lazy, and they're like, we don't need to do an open house. What's the point? What are we seeing as we sit here today?
Increases, tremendous.
Really?
Increase, absolutely. The Tampa Bay market, Central Florida market, even Miami, it's absolutely on fire. Even days where you would think that we didn't have many open houses, there's hundreds being promoted now. And over the weekends, the Friday, Saturday, Sundays, I mean, we have an influx. We were looking at an average about 2,700 to 3,000.
Right.
About the beginning of this year, we're about 65 to 7,000 now per weekend. So I mean, that's doubling our inventory.
How can real estate agents out there use this as a tool to help them acquire clients and keep clients?
Well, honestly, just doing an open house.
Yeah.
I mean, we syndicate all of them, and the second somebody's looking, you're informed.
Right.
So our main goal is getting them to the property. That's what we designed the site to do. We sat there and said, how do we make it so that when somebody uses this, they want to go to the house, right? Because that's what's important to us. We can say, yeah, we're doing all this stuff digitally for you, but it's really a lot easier to see with your own 2 eyes, right?
Any advice for real estate agents when they have these open houses? I mean, what should they do? Should they have donuts? Should they have cards out? I mean, what's a good trick and tool for real estate agents when it comes to open houses?
So a lot of them have like an inventory checklist that they do now. They have the waters or the cookies, and they have people sign in with their emails and their phone numbers to try and gain a bit of traffic.
Yeah.
Don't go overboard, but just be as personable as possible. I mean, most people want to find information themselves. That's why they do research, but you're the expert still. So we always tell the real estate agent when you're there, and if you get an influx, I mean, open houses right now are very popular, so you might have multiple different clients. Bring in an additional source of information. Bring in a mortgage officer, bring in a title, bring in a lender, so you have some backup, and also you have somebody who can then possibly push the process.
And also, the mortgage guy might pay for the donuts too. You know what I'm saying? This is a team effort. But I think if you're a real estate agent, correct me if I'm wrong, you have to be cognizant that you're going to have different personalities come there. Some people might want to be best friends. Others might not want to hardly say much at all. They came to see a house.
Correct.
You kind of have to read the room in some ways, don't you?
Absolutely. I mean, hosting open house is reading the room 100%.
Yeah.
You might have somebody who doesn't want to make eye contact, and they just want to see the beds and bath and the kitchen, and you might never hear from them. Or you might get a text 2 days later that says, hey, I saw your open house, and you had no idea they even existed.
100% right.
But what we're trying to do is, everybody on the site who's using us, we want to give them the opportunity to reach out as well if they can't see that open house, so that you could potentially see it later. So that agent who's hosting it could potentially be your new agent to show you that house on a Wednesday when you have time, because Sunday's too busy.
Totally agreed. Yeah, what do you guys think? I mean, I know none of us have a crystal ball. The real estate market's been crazy, leveling off a little bit. I mean, you get to see the analytics, I think, more than the regular real estate agent or certainly us in the market for a house. What do you see happening?
Honestly, what we see is a healthy real estate market is what I'll say. Because the way that it was, I think everyone can agree, was bananas. I mean, it was crazy. But as it is right now, what we're seeing is a lot healthier market. They're on for longer. People can actually go see the property. It's not this, piranha tank where a property drops in and it's just getting gobbled up instantly.
Exactly.
Right? It's healthier for everyone if something's on for 14, 21 days, right? Because then the market goes, oh, okay, there's an actual breadth to it, not just one or two properties.
Yeah, I mean, it could be healthy in some ways too, where some buyers really had no shot at houses, they didn't have cash, and maybe this leveling off period a little bit could actually be good for buyers. Even though the rates are up a little bit, if you look historically, these rates aren't horrible still, and maybe some buyers are actually going to have a shot at buying these places now.
We want longevity in real estate. We don't want these crazy stock market ups and dips and peaks. We want people who buy a house to be able to understand that it is the biggest investment in most people's lives.
That's right.
And the longevity behind it. Don't make this rash decision. Go see the house itself. And that's what unfortunately was happening the last couple of years, was everybody was making these rash decisions, and a lot of those decisions didn't pan out the way they wanted.
Exactly. Quickly, one more time, take me through. I'm sitting at home now, I want to find my dream house, I want to go look at it today. What is the best way for me to find out all of the open houses in the area in which I'm looking?
So, please.
Oh, so what you do is you take your phone out, because I'm sure it's in your pocket.
Yeah.
You open up Safari, or if you're on an Android device, you just open up, I don't know, whatever you're going to use, Google Chrome probably.
Not Internet Explorer anymore.
Yeah.
That's gone.
Type in homeuplink.com, and then whatever market you're looking for, any city between Jacksonville and Miami, go ahead and search it up. Any zip code, the entire state if you want. You can pick through thousands of them if you feel like it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, the best thing is if you want Orlando umbrella, you put Orlando.
Right.
If you want something specific, you can put in a specific area. But what we kind of tell people is look at the broader things, because a lot of people, they don't know and they're moving in. Learn the area themselves.
Think about it. You literally get your phone out and it has a map and shows you where the open houses are.
The times, it's everything,
unbelievable. The times, the location, just follow your phone. It's right there on the app.
And then you click the button, get directions, and then it goes to your map system and you're there.
HOMEUPLINK, again, it's probably the most genius real estate invention I've seen. It's unbelievable. I don't know how you guys came up with it, but whatever you did, something worked. Your parents should be very, very proud of you, because I certainly am as well.
That.
Zach, Barrett, Zach, thanks for being here as always. Keep up the good work. Do yourself a favor too. Download the HOMEUPLINK app now, or go to the website. Start that house up now. I don't see any reason to just put an offer in sight unseen on your house. Great job, guys, as always. Most importantly, thank you for joining me here every single Saturday. And you have real estate. If you want to start that house hunt, look for the open houses, but call Dallas Lehman as well. He'll get you pre-qualified. 407-205-0400. Hit record series now, and we'll see you next week for more You Have Real Estate. Here with Rajan Joshi. He is the founder of the Joshi Law Firm, our go-to for all things criminal defense, the place that literally we refer our criminal cases to. What I love about your firm is there is no case too small, but more importantly, maybe no case too large for you.
Yeah, thank you, first off, for having us. Yeah, our firm is equipped to hire any type of criminal defense case, whether it's federal, state, murder, racketeering, a DUI, or simple petty theft. We have the infrastructure and the manpower to handle it.
Free consults, which is always a great thing if someone's charged with a crime, but also maybe you should call before you are even charged. If the cops are calling you, should you talk?
Absolutely not speak to the police officers. The most important thing is if you're suspecting the crime, is call an attorney. A lot of times we can quash it and avoid people from going through the hardship of an arrest and criminal charges.
Keep up the great work.
Thank
if you are charged with a crime or the police are calling you, do yourself a favor, call the Joshi Law Firm today. One of the most important decisions you're ever going to make.
The proceeding was a paid advertisement. The views expressed were the sole responsibility of the advertiser.